Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Joey, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now today, we have the winner of the most recent poll, that being Harrow Prime. I'm going to be giving you guys two meta builds that I really like and think are very comfortable to use in Warframe 2025. These will be applicable in the brand new Old Peace update that is coming out on December 10th. If there are any changes or modifications to this build, I'll either pin links in the description, comments, I may do another video entirely, but for the most part, this should be totally fine going into the brand new update. If you guys are looking to use the brand new skin that's coming out and all that good stuff, I've got you guys covered here with two fantastic builds. Now, I have another poll up right now. Go ahead and vote on that. It's another frame poll. We got Temple on there, we got Ureli, we got Ember, and we got Corvex. Go vote for what you guys want to see. I will be covering that within the next couple days. I'd say within the next 2 days or so, you guys should expect the next video out. So, that being said, I'm going to get into these two meta builds that I have for you guys today. Now, getting into the first build, this has become very popular with Harrow. And what I mean by that is Evade. Now, Evade is Cyto 9's Helmet ability. And the way this ability works is you go invisible for X amount of seconds, depending on your duration, yada yada. And then you're going to get duration per headshot kill. Now, the reason this works so well with something like Harrow is because Harrow, not only being extremely powerful when it comes to buffing your weapons, giving it immense amounts of reload speed, fire rate, critical chance, and things like that, the fourth ability, Covenant, which is going to be giving us upwards of 50% capped flat CC to the body and 200% flat capped CC to the head. This also has an augment that is going to allow us to extend the duration by getting headshot kills. So these kind of now play into one another. So now we kind of have this other frames ability that synergizes extremely well with something like Covenant. So the way this is going to work is you're actually going to be able to get your max percent of Covenant up, go invisible, and be able to sustain Covenant and Evade as long as you are killing enemies, which really isn't going to be all that difficult. You can get Covenant up to, I've seen upwards of 80 plus seconds on this build. So you can get a ton of time on this. I would just highly recommend that you guys get your stacks that you want before you start getting headshot kills and trying to stack up the duration, is because you're not going to be able to get it to drop. It's going to be a pain. So get this to proc before you do any sort of stacking. And it'll be easy if you're playing on SP. Just walk in the middle of a couple enemies, let them do like 3,000-4,000 damage to you, and you'll be good to go. So, with that being said, for the rest of the kit, we have the second ability. This is just going to give us fire rate. It's going to give us life steal per kill. It's going to give us reload speed, which is going to be really, really nice for us. And it's also going to give us duration per shields drain. So that's also going to come in off the first ability. So we're actually running Prime Redirection for that. Prime Redirection is going to allow us to get upwards of 4,700 shields with the overshield value. So we're going to be able to turn all of that into fire rate, reload percentage, life steal percentage, just really, really long durations of this, which is going to be really, really nice for like a weapon platform setup like this. So now that I've explained that, we actually run Combat Discipline on here. Now, the reason we're going to run Combat Discipline on here is so we can get another 45% flat critical chance. So as long as your fourth ability is up at max value and you're killing enemies, you're going to be able to proc this non-stop, and you're going to have 95% flat CC. If you shoot them in the head, you're going to have 245% flat CC. That does not matter what the mods are, it is a flat value. If you have a new core with 5% and you throw this on, it's now at 50. If you had a new core with 5% and you threw all this on, now it's at 250. So, just so you guys understand that, it's going to give you a flat value. This mod, or this arcane, says 45%. It is going to plaster 45% right on there. It's not going to scale. It's 45 right on. Really, really want to just make sure I hammer this home. Same exact thing with the fourth ability. It's a flat value. It's not a scaling value. It's flat. So as far as the rest of the build goes here, I run Prime Sure-Footed as to not get knocked down. We have Prime Redirection. I explained this before. Not only are we going to get the max shield gate value if our shields do end up breaking while we're invisible, but we're going to be able to get the most value out of our second ability. We also run Archon Intensify. As I said, we are running Combat Discipline, so we are going to be doing a ton of damage to ourselves. Now, usually I run a rank 1 or rank 0 Combat Discipline, so I do minimal damage to myself when I run something like this. But the fact that the second ability has the ability to heal us when we kill enemies means that we actually can deal with losing this type of significant HP per enemy we kill. So it's really not going to affect it all that much. So we have Archon Intensify here. This is going to be proccing non-stop because we are going to be healing ourselves with our second ability, which is going to make this proc. So it's going to give us 60% power strength overall. So we're actually at 160% power strength instead of just 130 that this is showing here. So make sure you understand that. We have Stretch on here. You can go for Archon Stretch. I just really didn't want to throw another form on here. I already put 7 on here. I don't feel like I need Archon Stretch on here, especially when I'm running something like Equilibrium. But if you guys want to run Archon Stretch, you can. I'm running Equilibrium on here for Sustain, Prime Flow for Energy Pool. We have Prime Continuity on here for Big Duration. We have Narrow-Minded on here as well for Big Duration minus Range. That is the main reason why we have Stretch on here. The range is actually important. As I will show you in the showcase, if you take this range mod off, it affects how far Condemn will go. So Condemn is, without this on, will practically go a meter in front of you. You're not going to be able to actually use it from somewhat range whatsoever. So putting a mod on like this is going to be able to give it a decent amount of range so you can safely shield gate when you need to. Now, like I said, Lasting Covenant is right here. Headshot kills increase critical damage bonus chance by 3 seconds. So just keep it going. Keep your kills up, stay in evade, keep your covenant up, and I'm going to get into the build showcase, and I will be explaining to you guys how that all works very, very shortly. So now here in actual practice, to kind of explain what I was talking about with this build, now I'm just going to spawn in 20 heavy gunners, 230s, not pause, because I need them to attack me, because I need to actually get the CC value to go up. So I'll be showing you guys here exactly how this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn in these heavies here. I'm just going to go into my Matarai. I'm going to sling, just typical things. Now, all you want to do is you press 4. Now, I have more than enough value already. Now, the entire time your 4 is up, keep in mind, you are invincible. But since we are going to be keeping this up the entire time, it's not really going to matter all that much. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go invisible. Now, you can see the enemies can't see me, and we have 26 seconds on evade. And we have 34 seconds on our 4th ability. Now, if you go for some headshot kills here, I'll show you how this works. Now, I don't have Hush on the weapon, so if they do shoot at me, that is why. But you can just get headshot kills with this weapon, or with any weapon that you want to use. I'm just using my burst in here for the sake of the ease of the showcase. And you can see, like, I'm invisible. They can't see me. I can still use my 1 to get shields where I need them. I can still use my 2nd ability to get massive amounts of fire rate, and then I can use my 1st ability again to re-shield gate once they actually come out. And then you can just keep going. And you can see that my 4th ability is at upwards of 103 seconds. My 3rd ability is at 40. My 2nd ability was over 110 at initial cast. So you get really ridiculous amounts of time to be able to just do what you want with this kind of build. And then, like I said, you're going to be invisible the whole time. So you really get to just do whatever it is that you really want. It's like you're playing an invisible frame. So there's not really all that much you need to worry about. Now, the one thing I would recommend is that you just use a mod like Hush, maybe, in the Exila slot, so the enemies don't hear your weapon when you shoot, so they don't figure out where you are. And you'll be totally, totally fine. So if you guys are interested in a build like this is definitely something that I would recommend for your solo type gameplay, your level cap gameplay. You're just looking for an ultimate way to buff your own kit, your own weapons. This is definitely something that I would recommend you guys give a try. It's very, very powerful. As you guys can see right here, that, you just don't have to worry about anything. And you could just take your time with lining up your headshots. You could prime. You could do really whatever you want. Nothing's a rush. The only thing is, yeah, if you prime a little bit in the beginning, you're not going to get your charge for your Incarnate. But yeah, you can get your kills really, really easily, get your stacks up very, very fast. And you can still see my 2nd ability is still upwards of north of 40 seconds. So it lasts really long. Really, really solid build. So if you guys are looking for some type of way to play Harrow, not support build, but build for yourself, this is definitely what I would recommend to you guys. Now here's one more kill wave just so you guys can see. You get really, really solid values out of this. Now, the reason you guys also aren't seeing exclamation points is because of the textile I'm using. If you were using the enhanced textile, you would see that I'm like 400, 500, 600% critting, but you can't see that because I am not using that style. But I don't really care to see the exclamation points. So yeah, that's how this build works. Now, if you guys are looking for more of a high range, more group play type of build where you want to support your teammates and you could really just use it in general SP without needing things like invisibility to stay alive because shield gating is so powerful in a frame like this, this is something that I would more so highly recommend to you. Now, what this build is it's a high range, so we're getting really good value out of Bonnet and really getting good value out of Condemn, so we can get shield gates from very, very far away. Also, we can get our buffs out in a very, very high range. Just keep in mind as well, you can invigorate Bright Bonnet just like you do with Noko's ult with the Arviacep arc gun. So just put it in your back pocket, shoot him, you'll get double strength, faster energy restore, all the good stuff that comes with it. So keep that in mind. Now, as far as the build goes, we run Combat Discipline again. As I said, we're going to be able to heal ourselves with Penance, so we run Combat Discipline plus Arcane Avenger to be able to bolster our own weapons as well via Arcane Avenger and the fourth ability, as well as our second ability, Penance. Now, we go for Prime Sure-Footed on here so we can't get knocked down. We go for Prime Redirection so we can get max shield values to get max duration out of our second ability, as well as getting max shield gate value. We have Blind Rage on here for big ability strength, as efficiency is not going to matter because we have Bright Bonnet constantly pumping energy into us. Now, actually, I want to mention the reason I'm using Bright Bonnet over the Lantern is just for the ease of use and the fact that Bright Bonnet can actually give my teammates energy through channeled abilities where the Lantern can actually, it doesn't give any energy to people who are casting channeled abilities. This will, so you can go for something like this instead, and that's kind of really why I opt for it. The power strength on the side is also very nice for buffing your teammates. So we also have Lasting Covenant on here again to give us big duration on our fourth ability. Make sure that never drops off. Really, really handy. You don't need to go for this if you don't want to, but it's nice to have. So if you guys would rather play around the invincibility window that Covenant has, don't go for this, and then just let it run its course and play the windows. I go for Archon Stretch on here to refill my energy a little bit more next to Bonnet, as this is going to be our only source of energy restore aside from Bonnet on this. We have Prime Flow for energy pool. We have Transient Fortitude on here for strength minus duration. Duration is not going to be all that important as we're going to be increasing our durations with this and still getting ridiculous amounts of duration out of our second ability from the amount of shields that we have. We go for Overextended on here for big range minus strength. And we have Prime Continuity on here as our one duration mod. We also go for Molt Augmented plus Avenger. I would only recommend Avenger with Combat Discipline, and then Augmented, this is really up to you as this ability caps rather early. So this is just to bolster things like Bonnet and second ability percentages. So if you guys don't want to go for something like Augmented, you can go for something else, maybe Efficiency like I have on the first build. Totally fine. But as far as this build goes, really, really solid for supporting your teammates, really great survivability, and just a really powerful build overall. So as far as this build actually goes in practice, I want to mention this too. Like I said, you just need the RB step. You don't need any mods on it at all. I just have dexterity on here for when I'm using my Gara build. Don't worry about these. Literally, you don't need anything on here. All you're going to want to use this for is to be able to shoot the Bonnet. Now, you don't actually need to use it all that often. All you need to do is just, you can use your fourth ability here, so you're going to be able to stack up your critical damage. Now you can throw your Bonnets down. Throw your Bonnets down, call in your Arc Gun. Now, you can shoot your Bonnets, and you can just get rid of it if you want to. Now, you can use your first ability to Shield Gate. You can use your second ability for big shields. Use your first ability to Shield Gate again. And now we can do the same things we were doing before with our fourth ability. We're going to be able to just stack it up to, high values. We don't have all that much duration on this build compared to the other one. It's a lot less, but you're going to be able to infinitely sustain it as long as you're killing enemies, which really isn't going to be all that difficult. Now, you can see here, even with the enemies that attack you, like, the fact that you have so much shield gating means that they really aren't going to be able to do all that much to you. So as far as survivability goes for a build like this, you don't actually need anything coming from any sort of outside source because the internal source that it's already coming from is already so powerful. Now, what I was saying too, you could use the RV step like this, shoot it, and instantly put it away, so it really doesn't have a cooldown. You see, 2, 1, now they're invigorated. You can see I'm getting my 81%. I'm getting my faster pulse rates. I could just, straight spam my first ability if I wanted to, and, they're just going to keep giving me energy back. You can see in the bottom right, I just keep getting my energy back. So, you can see how this one works. It survives totally fine. It's got great CC. It's got a great ability to buff your teammates with power strength, energy regen, critical chance. You give them windows of invulnerability like this. You can see how easily we'll get our critical chances stacked up. You don't even need to invigorate the bonnets if you don't want to. I'm just telling you that it is an option. You could also invigorate them a singular time, and then after you invigorate them once, just make sure the buff doesn't drop and it will stay at the highest value, just like Wisp motes work. So that's another option for how you could use this. But you guys can see here, it's definitely really solid for like supporting your teammates. It's also good for yourself, but Harrow, really so much of what's going on Harrow is for yourself that you need to look for external sources. That's why we have things like Bonnet to help our teammates, because we can't really just do it all on our own with the frame by itself. But it fits really well, giving your team flash CC, That works really, really well on so many different weapons in the game with ridiculous CD counters if you don't want to use things like Enervate. Harrow has been a great option for a really long time. Definitely an underutilized option as far as a lot of frames in the game go, but to me, a fantastic one nonetheless. So if you guys enjoyed the videos today, leave a like down below, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and I'll be looking forward to the next video. Peace.